to Game Week 17 Premier League predictions, but clearly Thogdad is more interested in his brew.
It's a lovely brew, but you know what, Theo? I'm not happy this week.
Why?
3 points to Thogden. 3 points to Thogden.
Yes, I drew with my old man.
We're supposed to know what we're doing. That is terrible.
Okay, what is the first game?
Aston Villa against Manchester City is 7th against 5th.
Yes.
Two teams who lost last week. Now, Villa was second best to Forest, and Man City was second best to Man United. You were there, Theo.
Yes, I know, Dad. Aston Villa right now, hit and miss. You've got one game where they absolutely smash it, like the 3 in the row that they had, and then they lose to Forest 2-1. Elanga, scenes at the end. Morgan Gibbs-White, too good for you, mate. A little bit of a Midland scrap, that, isn't it? When those two teams play, Dad, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest always gets kicked. It kicks off.
It was a really good game, Theo. 2 very good sides this season. John Duran scored again. I tell you what, Villa can win this game.
The last time these two teams faced at home, Emre beat Pep 1-0. And you know what? Given recent City form, I think it could happen again. Everybody go into Villa Park, make that place rocking like Bayern Munich, and I'm sure you'll win.
I thought City were lacklustre against Man United, Theo. They were scared. They just wouldn't go forward and push, and United deserved to win that. I'm going to sit on the fence here. It's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Let's go through the facts for City. 1-1 draw is decent. It makes sense. You've got to remember that they've gone 7 games without a win now away from home, which is unbelievable. I was at City Man United. Pep Guardiola's boys looked very good in the first half. They fell away. It was a different team in the second. I don't know what changed. Phil Foden, he's got bronchitis right now, but that man could have scored 2 goals in the first half. He looked really good, but just missed that extra bit of legs. This is going to add more fuel to the fire of the upset of City, because I'm going to predict Aston Villa to win 2-1. I'm sorry, City fans. I think you're going to have to take another defeat here.
West Ham United against Brighton and Hove Albion is 14th against 9th. It is London against kind of London on sea, isn't it, Theo? Now, West Ham were pegged back by Bournemouth.
Yes.
What do you think of that?
Well, they had a chance. They scored the penalty. They were celebrating in the away end. 3 minutes later, the Turkish masterclass from Enes Ünal. What a finish that was.
What a brilliant finish there. But Brighton and Hove Albion, the M23 derby, more touches, more possession.
Yeah.
But somehow their opponents were more clinical.
I know, Dad. Look, there's something about Brighton right now. They're falling away.
Yeah.
Both teams could win this game. Every West Ham fan seems to want Lopetegui out.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're one toxic home result away from it, and that game could be now.
But they're also one win in the other direction, Theo. I think at some point they're going to have a really good win, and I think it might be here. Brighton, 2 points in 4 games.
Yeah.
Really off form at the moment.
They are. It's odd to call. 15th in the form table. I didn't think this would be Fabian Hezola's side. They've got a lot of quality in that pitch. You've got Minter at moments to see. He's been brilliant. They've got their new signing, who they brought in from Leeds, Rutter. Then they've got João Pedro. And for some reason, it's just not clicking, is it? That loss to Palace, Brighton fans were raging. They need Welbeck back.
Yes.
That's one name you can always get right. Welbeck on the pitch. And if so, this will happen. West Ham 1, Brighton 2. It's the end of Lopetegui. This result happens, he's getting sacked in the morning.
And I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going with home advantage. West Ham 2, Brighton 1. Ipswich Town against Newcastle United is 18th against 12th. And these are 2 teams who got massive wins last week. Talk about Ipswich, Theo. That win against Wolves, the Jack Taylor late winner.
They did it.
Enormous.
Massive. My friend Henry was in the away end enjoying those limbs as well.
You've not got any friends?
Oh, thanks, mate. That's great of you. Well, good for Ipswich anyway. Their away form continues to surprise the masses. And off the back of that result, Gary O'Neill got sacked.
Yes.
So, can they sack Eddie Howe next? Well, that's probably a bit more unlikely.
It is there. Now, the thing about Ipswich, brilliant result. In fact, they don't lose half their games, do they? They've won 2 and they've drawn quite a few. But they need to get more wins.
At home especially, 8 winless run now.
Yes, and Newcastle, it's a team this season who have underperformed. But I feel at some point they're going to win 2 or 3 in a row. And by the way, if they win 2 more in a row, they'll probably be in a European place.
No, you're right, Dad. Newcastle are obviously way lower where they want to be. That 4-0 against Leicester City showed character. Bouncing back from that 4-2 defeat. Murphy getting the double. That guy continues to surprise me with his quality on the pitch. Alexander Isak pops up with something every single game. That guy is so quality and the Geordies know it. And away from home, usually it's Harvey Barnes who performs, isn't it?
It is, Theo. I'm a big fan of Harvey Barnes. I'm also a big fan of Alexander Isak. And like you say, Jacob Murphy, massive shout out for last week. This is going to be a tight game.
It will be.
It's a hard place to go. It's going to be Ipswich 0, Newcastle 1.
Yeah, I'm going to go one more than you, Dad. Ipswich 0, Newcastle 2. Very different to the last time these two played in the Championship, where Ipswich won 3-1.
Brentford against Nottingham Forest is 11th against fourth. It is the team with the best home record
Yes.
of the season against really the surprise package of the season. Now Brentford, they pushed Chelsea close, but their away form, very poor.
No, it's not good enough. Yeah. At home, 9 wins out of 10 games. But away, they're just not keeping it up, which is what is holding them back. Do you think it's a difference in tactics from Thomas Frank there? Is he going attacking at home but sitting back away from... What's the deal?
I really don't know, Theo. Let us know in the comments. But that home record, like you said, in the league, 22 points out of 24. But Nottingham Forest, they have won 3 of the last 4 games. This could be a real Christmas cracker.
It could. All I know about Gibbs White is he's on fire. He's leading the line. He's just the man. You know, having a player that good, understanding what he needs to do to develop that team, maintain a top 4 spot in the table, which is just unbelievable. The fact that they're 2 points, actually 1 point ahead from Man City, but given they're playing Villa away, that points gap could even develop some more.
This is going to be very close, but I've got to go with that home record of Brentford's. I'm going to go with a narrow 2-1.
I'm going to agree with you for the first time in this video. I just see Brentford sneaking it.
Crystal Palace against Arsenal is 15th against 3rd. It is South London against North London. Now, Crystal Palace in that M23 derby down at the Amex, Theo. Like I said, less possession, but somehow so clinical. Great performance. In particular, Ismail Assar. Should we talk more about that man?
Oh, what a player. Come Derby Day, come the man.
Yeah.
Something about him just appeared in the Amex, and it was incredible. The brace, the finishes, the cold celebrations. That was absolute scenes for CPFC in that away end. And by the way, Oliver Glasner has got that place rocking. They'll come into this match so confident. You know, they beat Spurs at home.
Yeah.
They drew to Man City. Yes, they lost to Liverpool, but it was only by 1 goal. They'll come into this game thinking they can do it.
They will, Theo. Now, it's 5 games unbeaten for Crystal Palace, mostly draws, but who cares? They are moving away from that relegation zone. Arsenal, 77% possession, 13 shots to 2 against Everton, but a 0-0 Brexit draw, wasn't it?
You can't do that. You can't do that. Everton have now drawn 3 0-0s in the last 5, and Arteta clearly wasn't watching those highlights. He's only gone and let that happen at the Emirates. It's like a 0-0 loss.
Yeah.
That's such a bad result to get. The 4-point gap now with Chelsea. You know, even Chelsea are 2 points away from Liverpool. So that just shows you 6-point gap now from the title race. Palace will come in confident back home.
Yeah.
Off the back of a big derby win. This, for me, is a 1-1 draw.
Yes.
I can see a goal each side, but nothing more.
You know what? There's some games this week that are very hard to call.
There
Everyone
are.
should have a go at predicting the scores in all 10
Put it
games.
in the comments.
Because it's harder than you think. This one could easily be 1-1. It could easily be a 1-0 Crystal Palace. But I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
And by the way, if you want to go get Thogdad's prediction for your birthday gift, go on to Cameo. First link in description.
Oh my
He'll
goodness.
say anything you want it.
I was too shy to mention that. Who is going to be the first person to order a Thogdad cameo? Everton against Chelsea is 16th against 2nd. It is the Brexit boys against the Chelsea billionaires. Now, we've already talked about Everton's 0-0 against Arsenal. A Sean Dyche masterclass.
They've conceded once at home in 440 minutes.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Defensively, they are rock solid. Branthwaite, Tarkowski, Pickford. That triangle, that's a pyramid. You know, the Egyptians, they built pyramids for defence. Everton need those 3. That's it. I think they can hold Chelsea to 90 minutes with goalless. They can. Liverpool, lucky that game got delayed. Right now, yes, Everton aren't scoring that many, but Dyche has his ways, and they're grinding out games. They're making it so difficult to go to Goodison and even play them away.
Do you know what? And the psychology as well as the physical is very important here, Theo, because early in the season, Everton got in the habit of losing, and now they're in the habit of not losing. They've only lost 1 in 5, so this is a good time to take on Chelsea. It's a real test for Chelsea.
If we talk about history too, they beat them 2-0 last time at Goodison.
Wow.
Lewis Dobbin scored the winning goal. Unbelievable scene. So that shows that they can do it, and their team's probably even better now. But it's the Blues at the wrong time.
Yeah.
They are just on fire.
They
Enzo
have-
Maresca, 7 wins in a row.
It's brilliant. They've won 5 in a row in the Premier League. They've caught up 4 points on Liverpool in the last couple of games.
Yeah.
Can they win this title?
I think they can. None of it's amazing mentality, Leicester City style, where they say, yeah, we're going to take every game as it comes. It's too early to say. We're not in a fight with Liverpool, load of rubbish, load of crap. Yes, they know exactly what they're up for. They're 2 points from Liverpool. Liverpool having howlers at the moment, 2 draws in the last 3. Chelsea need to win this game, and they're right. They could go first this week.
Everton 0, Chelsea 2.
Yeah, I'm going to go different. Everton 0, Chelsea 1.
Manchester United against AFC Bournemouth is 13th against 6th. And to be clear, that's Man United in 13th and Bournemouth in 6th. But United at City, Theo. Brilliant.
Amazing. It didn't start brilliant. They looked weak, but as soon as they turned it on, Amad Diallo, Bruno Fernandes, on fire. Amad especially, he created the first, scored the second with that touch.
Yeah. Do you know what? I like Diallo, and the other day I was having a chat with a United season ticket holder. I said, I like Amad, and he wasn't sure. This was only a few weeks ago. He wasn't sure about Amad.
It looks like Amarim's come in, doesn't fancy Garnacho, doesn't like Rashford.
Yeah.
He's got his favourites, and he's stuck by them, and they are playing for him. He's getting rid of Deadwood.
But Bruno Fernandes, he scored that penalty, and he was just like, almost apologising to the City fans, wasn't it?
They gave it away. And do you know what? After the match, when Amad Diallo and Onana were celebrating, Specs went up to them and said, yeah, I love you guys more than my wife.
Really?
And then they walked off. And Specs was like, I mean it. And then some old guy who presents went, Specs, you can't say that to them.
That is funny, Theo. But Bournemouth, talk me through Unal. Excuse me, Theo.
Unal, what? That's the new thing. I've started it.
You promised me off camera that you would not do the Unal dance.
I'm telling every Bournemouth fan in the away end to do the Unal, when he scores his next goal.
That's not getting clipped. Anyway,
it is getting clipped. It's already TikTok. It's already on there. And they're going to do it. The Bournemouth fans are going to do it.
Brilliant. Absolutely love that. And what I love is that this will be a Man United 2-1 victory.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm sorry, but that Bournemouth goal will come from...
No, nobody say Unal.
Unal. Why are you walking off?
Fulham against Southampton now is 8th against 20th. It's one of the teams of the season against the worst team in the Premier League. Full stop. Now Fulham, they went to Anfield and got a very nice point. Obviously not helped by Andrew Robertson getting sent off.
Yeah.
But what a result.
Well, it helped them kick on.
Yes.
Fulham scored twice.
Yes.
2 early leads at Anfield. They're the only team to beat Liverpool since 2021 at home in 3 different teams, one of them being Real Madrid,
yes.
one of them being Fulham. So, crazy to think. Bearing that in mind, they didn't come away with the win. They bottled it twice. Marco Silva will actually be gutted coming away from it. When they had the lead with Andreas Pereira and Rodrigo Muniz against 10 men Liverpool, they threw it away. I know it's Liverpool, but I'm sorry. They should have won that game. But signs of more things to come.
Yes.
They seem to be the draw specialists. They've done it 3 times in the last 4. But quality, Rodrigo, he once had an incredible run in the Premier League. This year he's gone and been benched a lot because of the Mexican up top. But I think he might have a chance this weekend.
But let's talk about Southampton, because I watched that Southampton Spurs game on the telly box, first 45 minutes, because after that I was too embarrassed for Southampton, for the fans.
Wow.
They were leaving after 20 minutes. Why? Because their team was atrocious.
Well, you turned off at the right time because there's no more goals.
There were no more goals, but that didn't matter. The game was over. It was embarrassing.
So will Danny Roll change that? The Sheffield Wednesday German coach. Listen, they want attacking football. That's what I've heard from the Southampton fans. That's not going to work in the Premier League. That's not going to work with the team that you've got. Your team is not good enough to play in the Premier League, full stop. Look, Simon Rusk is going to be the interim for this game, and I really think they've got minimal chance. Fulham sometimes slip up at home against the lower league teams.
Yes.
So, believe, but I'm going to the Whites 2 and to the Red Whites 0.
Funny how it's a Freudian slip. You're already referring to Southampton as lower league, because they will be in August next year.
Yeah.
Fulham 2, Southampton 0. There's no way back for the Saints. Leicester City against Wolverhampton Wanderers, 17th against 19th. It's a Midlands derby. It's a massive relegation fight. These are 2 teams who lost last week. Now, take Leicester first. They went up to St James's Park. Not an easy place.
They went straight back down.
They were battered, weren't they?
4 goals to 0. Not good enough. That's just not what you want in your sandwiches. It's a wake-up call for Van Nistelrooy. When he was back there scoring goals for Man United, it's a very different situation with Leicester City, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is, Theo. And you know what? Newcastle have not been brilliant this season. You've got to give them a game. And with Ipswich winning, there's only 2 points between Leicester and the relegation zone.
I know. The pressure's on Leicester. They're at home. Van Nistelrooy's got some results already at King Power.
Yeah.
Wolves will come here with maybe Vitor Pereira. That's the rumour.
Yes.
The new Portuguese manager. Do you know about him?
I don't, Theo, but let me talk about that last game that Wolves lost. It was a complete meltdown on and off the pitch. Now, if you look at that match, Wolves had some clear-cut chances. They should have won that game. And then Gary O'Neill's interview afterwards, I thought, was very, very
poor.
What
did he say?
He was trying to separate himself from the players. He was saying the players are struggling to get up to the grade. He didn't mention himself. Instead of putting his hands up and saying, it's not good enough, I take full responsibility. He lost it.
I think Vardy scores the only goal in this game, 1-0.
Leicester to win this 2-1, but Gary O'Neill, good luck in the next job. And finally, Tottenham Hotspur in 10th place against Liverpool. This could be the game of the weekend. Spurs went to Southampton.
Super Sunday.
And it was like a training ground exercise. The likes of Son and Kulusevski. And Maddison, I thought, was superb, Theo.
Yeah.
But this is Liverpool. What's going to happen here?
Well, it's not easy to go all the way up to Glasgow to play Rangers away in Europe and then come all the way down to the south coast and come away with a 5-goal win in the first half. I actually thought Bergvall was really good in that game.
Yes.
The Swedish midfielder. I don't know if he gets too much game time in the Premier League. I probably won't play here against Liverpool, but something to come for the future for Spurs. And they sing about Levy. They want him out. What do you think about that?
I think that is very harsh. I think Levy is one of the best owners in the Premier League.
You're going to get roasted here.
I don't care if I get roasted. He has raised the money to build one of the best stadiums in the world. He's got a good team there. To blame it on Daniel Levy is nonsense. Give your heads a wobble.
Are Spurs back? They won 5-0. You know, incredible result in the first half. They won it, really. Sonny's scoring again. Are they going to cause an upset here against a Liverpool that aren't dampened but not perfect as they were a couple of weeks ago?
A one-word response, Southampton. They beat Southampton, Theo. This is Liverpool. Now, Liverpool,
Hold
of
on,
course...
what about City? 4-0.
Fair enough, Theo, but it's Spursy, isn't it? It's win one amazingly and then lose one badly. Win, lose,
Yeah.
and Spurs have got to get out of that. It's brilliant to watch, isn't it? For the neutral, it's fun seeing a 4-3 or a 4-0 or a 0-4. We love it. If you're a Spurs fan, you feel you shouldn't be mid-table.
You mentioned the word Spursy, Dan. It's very Spursy for them to go here and get a win. I think they can.
This is going to be a Christmas cracker.
It will be, yeah. There's a 2-point gap now between Liverpool and Chelsea. We've both predicted Everton to lose against Chelsea, which means if Liverpool don't win, Chelsea are top of the league for Christmas.
I'm going to go Tottenham Hotspur 1, Liverpool 2.
Spurs going to do the most Spursy thing ever and do something that they never do.
Wow.
Draw a football match. Whoa.
Whoa.
Spooky.
Wow.
2-2. In the
That-
Premier League, a draw for Spurs is a crazy statement, but it's happening.
My final word, Theo,
Yeah.
is Unal. Right,
Unal.
I'm leaving.
What's that? Smash the like, subscribe, and share this with your dogs because we need 1 million views every month. Is that right? 1 million views a month?
That would taste like
Promotion!